let's talk a bit about animation and object interaction and how we can set up some of those. So as you may know, there is awesome Unity animation system which we can use with all Unity objects in whatever place we need. So we can also animate objects, scripts, properties, objects, transform, everything already in Unity. So we can use that animation here. So let's say we want to just add for a bird some more life to animation. So let's say we're gonna create new animation for bird. Create clip, and let's say bird scene 1. We're gonna put this in our folder, which is named animations. As you may know, you can create Unity animations here. Let's say we're gonna change its position. Let's say this is just a little part of animation we have for our object. He has animation and he has bird scene 1. We can also have several animation, trigger them on object, clicks and everything. We will show that later. But for now, here it has a scene. We can stop record and click play this. But we need to put, of course, loop mode and click play.
Davno u šumi jednu živio jedan kat. Bijaše crn, veliki, lijep, na svoj lik vrlo ponosan.
In the same manner, you can do some things with camera. Let's say he jumps too much, we want a little less. Okay, and you want to camera go zoom in this scene a bit, and you wanna set up like that. You can go and in page. For now, you can see that we have our game object window, that all our objects on our page maintains aspect ratio. You can see that here. So however I resize this window, my scene will resize. If I don't want my objects to do that, that is important if I want to do something like camera going into scene, into depth or moving, then I could go into my objects. I have these foreground objects and I want background still follow my camera. I can go into foreground, find this DM plane proportion script and keep screen size check off on both of those. So now when I move camera, you can see what happens. If I had this checked, when I move my camera, those objects would also follow. So if I don't want them to follow, to make some zoom effect and depth effect, I go here, then I can go to my camera, same as before, we can create a new animation, we can create new clip, can zoom, see. Okay, let's say this is our first frame, we're gonna set its position, we're gonna move how long we want, let's say. So we have our camera animation here, cam zoom, so it plays only once. When we zoom in, then stops. So when we hit play here, so we can do it even slower here by simply in Unity animation drag it to any time you want. So maybe move the camera in some moment a bit up or down, or don't know, something you want to do. It will be updated in
Jednom davno u šumi jednom živio jedan gavran. Bijaše
and how you can set up your scenes, getting zooms, like this. So what about more interaction? We can find, let's say, some other scene. Let's say we go to our other scene where we have two different objects here. Let's say in this scene we have our objects, our fox and bird, and we want to do some interactions. We can do that very easily. In every section and every object we can do certain things on certain frames. Let's say we want to do, when we click fox, so bird says no. When we click play now, TN, when we click a bird it says no. And I want to set up so when I click a fox and it sits, starts scratching its head, so bird says no. How that can be achieved? Actually very easily. I go to my fox object and I can have this on my fox object. I can have my preview of frames, so when I click this L button I can get more options. So here I get trigger options. I can have none, trigger other object on something, send a message to certain object, send message with comment. I can select with message, comment, is it integer, float, string or ID of this object. I can go animation start or anything I like. So let's say I wanna just send message. I wanna send message to bird. I can take this bird and drag to this on object box, so it says bird again. I wanna do certain animation on certain frame, so I can go drag this to preview animation. When fox started scratching its head, let's say bird says no, so I want it on frame 34. So if I want that on frame 34, I'm gonna click this C button and it receives 34. When we have our object set up, we can send a certain message to it. Let's say it's message set interactive. It is the same message as it will be when we click to this object. So let's try, let's click play. Now when I click fox, bird says no. In the same manner, you can do certain things. I don't know, start animation or anything you like. Let's say you want to start some kind of animation on fox when bird is clicked. Let's do that. We have our fox object selected here. let's just set up some basic animation to show this. Create new clip. We're gonna put in animation folder. We're gonna call it basic fox. Enter. So basic fox, we can add some keys. And we can, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. We can walk it here. So, as we did that, we got attached animation object. As you see, it has animation basic fox already done by Unity. That's a great stuff to have. And here is our play animation automatically option. We're gonna turn that off actually, because we're gonna call that animation from our bird object. So let's gonna pick our bird object here, and let's say when we click that object on a certain frame, when it starts saying, let's say no, we can animation start. Just select that options, pick 6th frame on object fox now, and we can put animation name here. So fox now has basic fox animation. After we done that, we are ready to go. So when we hit play, our animation isn't playing. Still we have that what we set up earlier. We can set up fox. When it says no, you can go. We can do various things in the same manner. Also, we can in main loops also put trigger animations, send message to other objects, whichever we want. For example, this is fox selected. I can put on every first frame bird object, let's say. I can look in a manual also. Some options I have, for example, I can hide object. On some frame. And let's say, for example, here we have 4 loops of fox on last. For example, I will go here, go send message, also to bird, also on some 7th frame, let's say, I will say show. I can just copy and paste from manual, and when I hit play, it will hide object, then on some loop it will show object, and you see here. Then again on first it hides, and jumps here green, it shows object. So you can hide show objects by clicking sounds, animations, objects, triggers, visibilities, everything interact with everything in this